can I ask a question before we go back? Do we say the names or at this point?
Yes. Okay. This is when we finally say the names. Those names.
So would it be appropriate for me to,
Yeah, you just read them.
like, for you to not agree? Okay.
Yeah. Be better if you are. Yes, of course.
You always hold your questions.
Okay. So are we on? Yes. Okay. So board members, we're back in open session. This is item 4B. Discuss and consider directing McPherson and Jacobson to invite select applicants to participate in the final interview for the position of superintendent. As we know, we've interviewed our semi-finalists. We had a robust discussion amongst all of us, and now it's our task to decide who we're going to invite for our final interviews. So you will accept a motion on this item.
I move that we instruct Mac and Jake to invite Dr. Dupin and Dr. Christine Griffin for finalist interviews.
I will second that.
So I have a motion by Mr. Ruhal and a second by Mrs. Roth. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
We have a vote of 3-2, and motion passes to invite Dr. Dupin and Dr. Christensen.
No.
Dr. Griffin and Dr. Dupin back for the finalist interview. Excuse me. Okay, now we're on to item 4C. Discuss and consider the structure of community leadership meetings to introduce finalists for the position of district superintendent.
First, we would like to have that revised schedule to go on May 10th and have the two forums. It will be a little less time consuming for the board to break it up over the 2-day schedule so that we can go, we call it the A and the B schedule, flip flop it, and then the following day on the 11th, we will have the final interviews. Roughly from 4 to 7. We have some interval.
Right, and then deliberation. Okay. Board members, yes.
So
questions or
you're
comments?
saying on the 10th would be the public forums and the 11th would be the board interviews? Okay, that works.
Yeah, so the forums, of course, we shouldn't really be at anyway, so that gives the forums more flexibility to set up and make sure we get our community there and they can get there. And we don't have to feel so crammed in one day. So seems like that would work well. Questions about that? How about the format of those structure of those forums? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we work with Kate and she tells us, physically to have one of the forums in this building, and it's possibly, so that, and then 1 hour, then we flip flop a little 15-minute break in between candidates, break. And then Jed is going to set up our QR code so that we have the responses. And we've talked about that, and Kate and I have talked about that, so Jed can address that a little bit. We are in the process of question development based on the feedback you gave us questions. And we'll refine them, probably be a little tougher questions, I'll be honest. But Jed and I collaborate very closely with that. We bounce ideas off each other, but we take it directly from what feedback you gave us. That's critical, that you understand that. So he's got them all tabulated and ready to go.
Yeah, I really appreciate your input on prioritization. I think you looked at over 100 questions or close to 100. So they were categorized in what you saw in tonight's example of the interview. The way that they were set up was in criteria that you established. So when you're reading those statements, that was criteria that you as a board established with the questions that followed. So then the categories that were sent out to you were slightly different, but you prioritize those categories. And so within those, then there's 3 more interviews that are coming. There's a community, there's a staff, and there's a finalist. So what I've done is I've started a process, and I haven't been able to collaborate with Dr. Gabriel yet, but we will. And then we're going to call out about 15 questions similar to what you saw tonight. And in addition to that, we also got some feedback from the interview process tonight, and also there's some follow-ups that will be part of the final thing.
So the questions that you are going to put together, and board members, did you see the brochure, the flyers that Kate created
Yeah.
about those?
Yes.
Yeah. So the questions that you formulate for the staff and for the community will be different questions for each group.
There's going to be a few overlaps.
Sure.
For consistency of process, but not very many.
Right.
And then there's going to be a word change on a couple of them. So we're in one case, I'll say community, say staff. So there will be a few of those, and then it's just nice to have the common threads throughout. And then I was going to say something else. I'm tired.
You'll collect feedback from those
Oh.
responses.
No, what was really important was the feedback that we received. We had about 250 individuals that provided feedback to you all on the board in this process. So a lot of the questions that are generated for the forums come from the feedback that we've already received. That's really important for everybody to know. We're not going to be taking active questions from the floor. It's going to be a scripted format, much like what you saw today.
Right. But we'll be
And
able to
again, the concept,
offer feedback on the answers, right?
They're going to have a rubric for analysis that's going to be
Right.
a nice, quick, objective way that we can get feedback to you.
Okay, good.
and not the concept of an open mic.
Right.
But that's very,
Yeah.
because you have collectively the word, you don't want to have that's free.
Right. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Everybody? Okay. All right, so that's item C. Item 4D, discuss and consider areas of interest regarding questions, presentations to be addressed during the final interviews. That would be our interviews with the 2 finalists. I guess could I just ask a question first? When you do those, when you set those questions up, are they, you said something earlier about some of the questions we've already seen and will be used in that. Is that correct?
Yeah, when you weighed in on your input,
Right.
those, as a matter of fact, many of those weren't asked tonight because I'm saving those input.
Okay. Will there be an opportunity in that finalist interview to be a little bit more conversational and ask follow-up questions?
My opinion is yes. I haven't had a chance to converse with Dr. Bruno.
The only thing,
I've always afforded a little bit more latitude in the
Yeah.
final because from the feedback that we have tonight, some of the areas of further probing are different for the candidates.
It's critical to have asked the same questions.
Right.
But you want to drill down a little bit more And each candidate could answer them a little bit differently, and that's okay. As long as you stick with the same starting point.
Right, right. That's my understanding too. Board members understand that.
Right.
You have to start with the same basic questions, but there can be piggybacking off of those based on something that the candidate said that you want to understand better. Like there were several times tonight that someone said something, and I'm like, I really would like to say, what do you mean by that? Or, you know, can you explain that a little further? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You just want more information, not coming up with a whole brand new question that's not there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's hard to do sometimes, because you want to ask. Sometimes you want to ask another, oh, I just thought of something.
Well, it's hard because it's, you know, by law, you can't ask. You have-
Different question.
Right,
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
did, if you did ask another question, you'd have to ask the same exact question to the candidate.
right. And also, you have to still remember and be, you know, respectful for the parameters that you set for the hour time limit.
Right.
And we have people who like to share, so it's a lot of information, you know?
Is there anything else we want to talk about with those final?
You know, only a point of clarification on, you know, a very good newspaper person. That's very important to get specific information. And so, do you want us to draft, let's say, a press release and then bounce it off? You tell me how you want me to.
I mean, I think that would be,
That's all been taken care of. I've already had confirmations with Nancy about next
For
week's.
tomorrow, okay?
For,
For
for,
announcing finalists.
for announcing finalists, I'm sorry.
No,
No.
I meant for tomorrow. She's gonna call me.
Yes,
She knows the call.
I
She's
don't.
very smart.
thank you. I don't have that.
yes, she is, she's all over it.
I'm sure.
So, no,
Um,
that's what I'm asking for.
She's still really waiting.
Yeah. You know, it's fine if you want to draft a press release, okay, that's fine. She calls me at 2 a lot, but I can never answer my phone when she calls, so but, because I'm working with people. But, yeah,
Rich, I would say I leave that to your discretion to, if they send you a press release, you don't have to send it to me. I trust you to, that's just my opinion. You guys, if you want.
you're gonna send me the press release then?
Sure. We had a good, you know, Kate did a good job on, I thought it was a cleanup from the prior, you know. She made little spaces in the paper, so she didn't run it right away. And then obviously the date of the form changed, so we had to adjust.
Yeah.
So, and she did, and she was very factual, so as long as we're given good facts, she used it. Yeah, she may want to call each one of you individually.
I doubt that.
Uh,
She's never called me either. Yeah.
Oh, really?
She's never called me.
She doesn't usually, honestly. She tries to
Just
call,
likes you.
whoever's president, she tries to call.
Yeah.
And if she can't get that person, maybe she'll call the vice president. That's about it.
That's good with me. I'm okay.
Yeah, I will never be president, so.
Yeah, like I said, once in a while she gets me on the phone.
Okay.
I try, but
I'll
a
draft it.
lot of times I just can't. And the other thing is that when she does call, and she usually has a deadline, you know, she's on a deadline. So it's like, if I don't call within an hour or two, it's too late.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anyway,
Okay, I'll
to get back to the subject at hand.
Okay.
You'll give me the press release,
Okay.
of the two names.
Okay.
And, I will get with her tomorrow, one way or the other.
Okay.
Okay?
I just have a procedural question. This meeting that we're in right now, this is open public part of the meeting.
Yes.
When is that available to the public?
Now, right?
Are we live?
We are not live streaming, we are recording it. And it'll be available as soon as our IT department can pull it up into YouTube. It is live in Board Doc, so as soon as we voted on, or you voted on, item B, that is in there live, so that is available for anybody who is,
So the
Up at
candidates
this
would know
hour.
that they're now finalists. if they get
whenever she posts the minutes or.
Mhm.
No, it's live.
I believe it is all
I'm
in
just
here.
trying to make sure we're respectful of the process so that we can
Mhm.
let people know. So maybe tonight we need to let them know.
I
I'm
would.
sure it's a call they wouldn't mind receiving. Even the late hour.
Well,
All right, or
okay,
do we have
No,
other?
no, I
all
mean,
right,
No, thank you. I just needed a point of
Yeah, no.
clarification. I appreciate it.
all right, announcements, next scheduled board meetings. May 9th is a regular board meeting, remember those?
Yep.
That's at 5:30 right here. May 11th, is, at 4 o'clock, special meeting, finance interviews for the hiring of the superintendent. And tentatively, May 18th is 4 o'clock, special meeting, executive session to discuss the hiring, well, to discuss the contract, actually. For the new superintendent. Okay. We will announce, on May 11th, just to be clear, on May 11th, we're going to do the interviews. We're going to come out of executive session and we're going to announce who is going to be offered a contract at that point. So on May 11th, that information will be public, and then the negotiation part begins. Which usually what we've done is the president and maybe one of the vice president both will discuss the contract with the lawyer and then bring it back to the full board. So, and discussion. Okay, but we'll have to decide about the date. All right, is there any other questions? Not, motion to adjourn, anybody?
I move we adjourn.
Second. Mrs. Ron, and second by Mr. Rule. All in favor?
Aye. All right. Thanks you guys, for all of your hard work.
Thank you.